Over the past year, I've made a bunch of improvements to my drumming robot, and instead of making like a bunch of update videos, I figured I'd just make one video about all the changes. I have also taken him to a lot of events, so I'll be talking about those too. But basically the main problem was my robot wasn't very reliable. One issue was the face spinning mechanism. Basically the stepper motor didn't have enough torque, so I 3D printed a little planetary gearbox. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but I knew this was only a temporary solution because 3D printed gears doesn't exactly scream reliable. I was taking a data-driven art class at that time, so I figured I'd make LiDAR my final project. LiDAR's camera points straight down at a mirror that takes in light focused through two lenses. So in order to do like face recognition, you have to download this library called OpenCV. But for some reason, my Raspberry Pi would not install that library, like no matter what I tried.
I'm going to break my Raspberry Pi, I swear!
At one point, it was getting so hot during the install, I had to put a fan on it.
I'm literally shaking right now. No, I'm not. But this is pretty awesome. I've been spending like 15 hours on this total. But now I gotta get coding because I have 24 hours to code everything.
It came together okay, but if I'm being honest, that guy cannot see faces. Every motion he was doing at the gallery was fully random noise being detected by the camera. I'm definitely gonna come back to the camera aspect of this project, but I don't know, for now I'm pretty satisfied with what I learned. Here are some of the other art pieces people made as part of this class. Pretty cool stuff. One of my art friends told me about this rave happening in Seattle. They were giving out grants to artists to bring their art, so you know I had to go. LiDAR is a bit of a mess right now. I'm going through a move. But for C Compression, this little festival I'm going to, it's a light festival. Light. That's the name of the game, light. The main improvement I wanted to make before the festival was cleaning up all the electronics. At OpenSauce, they were a complete mess, and that was embarrassing. So one thing is I'm cleaning up all these electronics, but I really want to keep them visible, you know? And I got my computer over here, and I'm pretty inspired by having that clear acrylic. But to keep it grungy, I thought, let's make the acrylic cracked. But instead of normal crack, we're going to laser the crack precisely. So here's what the piece of acrylic needs to look like. And then I got this clip art crack pattern and then traced it with the vector. And then boom, we have this. I'm gonna have to be very careful not to cut all the way through the acrylic, because if I do, it's just gonna fall apart like a crack would. But guess what? We found a perfect piece of acrylic. Here is how the acrylic turned out. You can see it's a pretty convincing crack effect. I got my laser settings right, so I didn't cut all the way through. It's pretty sturdy. Unfortunately, I was a bit of an idiot. I put these holes in the wrong place. Rat-row. But even a clock is an idiot twice a day. Wait, scratch that. Reverse it. The entire electronics panel is made out of laser cut wood. Here are those connectors that everyone's been raving about, and if I'm gonna be honest here, it's kind of worth the hype.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. It is not looking good. So I was working till 5 a.m. on that electronics panel. It's not done, and nothing is tested. I mean nothing. I can't emphasize that enough. I don't mean like altogether I haven't tested. I mean none of it's been tested. Plenty of wiring to do on him. I think I'm gonna have to do it on location, and I have 24 hours. One cool thing is it was kind of in the forecast to rain around this time, this weekend that the festival is gonna happen. They canceled that, which is great. So it's gonna be the hottest day in October on this Saturday, which is awesome. So his head is made out of plastic. He will melt if he's in direct sun for 5 hours. This robot needs an umbrella from the sun. Like, okay, well, cool.
I also decided to add built-in fans to each of the electronics panels. This was mainly because I didn't want the Raspberry Pi getting too hot. I tried to paint them unevenly so you'd be able to see them spinning.
There's LiDAR right now. There's the workspace. The delusions are getting stronger, and my illusion of grandeur is getting higher. So
not many times in my life have I passed out from a lack of sleep, but this was one of those times. I don't quite remember what happened before I fell asleep, but I did have the foresight to set an alarm for the time that I was supposed to leave for the event. So it was such a scramble to pack up all his different parts, along with any tools that I thought I'd need to put him back together. Unfortunately, the event itself wasn't any smoother. My laptop decided this was the day it was gonna completely die. So I had to use somebody else's laptop to upload some new code. I couldn't get the pneumatics going just because I didn't get a chance to wire them up. So this is all he could do. But it turns out that people high on a bunch of different hallucinogenic drugs really enjoy seeing a drumming robot. So it ended up being a fun night. Someone even flirted with me and asked for my number. She did ghost me after a couple texts back and forth. But
guys, LiDAR is on the ground, and he's been on the ground right there for over a month at this point. But guess what? I'm about to get serious with him. He's getting some upgrades.
I could see that over time the metal structure was allowing for some like unwanted movement when he was drumming, which wasn't great. After taking him apart, I could see that there were 2 bolts taking all of the stress when he was drumming, which bent the aluminum over time. I bought some thicker extrusion. I was able to use my school's CNC mill for machining them. let me tell you, I am in love with this machine. Hey you guys, I just want to issue like a formal apology to the engineering community because I'm kind of making waves here with my manufacturing abilities. I mean, we're talking about stuff like this, you know, like I'm doing stuff that hasn't been done. This is stuff that, how do I say this? Like, this is just my hobby. I'm doing this as a hobby and I'm doing things like this. Very precise. I'm talking tolerances within 0.01. Did we make mistakes? Yes. All these holes, all of them, are off by 1/8 of an inch. This hole should be right here. So we redid it. This piece, I just cut too short. But we're learning things. Accuracy, perfection. This thing is sturdy. It ain't budging. Here's a jar of vinegar and steel wool mixed together. I made this about 6 months ago, and it's been sitting in a lukewarm room. Okay, so as expected, the 3D printed gearbox didn't last long. So I decided it was time to face the actual issue, which was the motor was facing too much resistance when trying to spin. Since the head is made out of wood, the warpiness causes a lot of friction issues. So I flattened the parts by getting them wet and then leaving them pressed for like a couple weeks. I also epoxied a metal ring to the spinning part to give it extra structure. Previously, I was using a Lazy Susan for the bearing, but it turns out they don't actually machine those too precisely. So I switched to using a thrust bearing. And wow guys, look at that smooth result. I'm actually pretty proud of how that turned out. Every time I want to bring LiDAR anywhere, I have to take them entirely apart just to fit through my door. So we're gonna cut down the base to fit through the door. To make it easier to move LiDAR around, I made some holes to attach caster wheels whenever they were needed. On his chest plate there are these little fuses, and I hadn't gotten them working yet, so I got them working. In the current design, these metal struts hold up the chest plate, but I just found out some of these dimensions are wrong and kind of imprecise. So rather than remachining, I decided to 3D print the part. Metal is sometimes overkill for a lot of uses, and 3D printed parts are actually more capable than you'd expect, especially for something like this where the part isn't moving, so should do the trick.
I'm currently using the A4988 motor driver to run the stepper motors for LiDAR's head, but my parents got me a TB6600 motor stepper driver for Christmas. Now, if you look on forums, they'll say, well, there's benefits to using each of these motor drivers. Look at each of them and tell me which one you think is higher quality. Here are the stepper motor drivers all wired up. You can see I wired up those LEDs, so they should be lighting up as I'm sending commands to the drivers. Here's a little tag my brother did, World's Fair 2036. In the LiDAR canon, 2036 is the year that he was unemployed by Amazon. Now, I'm not going to keep reviewing all of this lore, so I need you guys to remember this, okay, and read up before you watch my videos. Okay guys, just finished the electronics panels, and I outdid myself. Okay, let's check out under the hood. You can see, pretty complicated looking, pretty awesome looking. But, you can see, a bunch of plugs. It's just plug and play now, guys. Look at this. Same goes for this one. Looking pretty nice. But then, just a bunch of plugs. Easy. Two weeks. 2 weeks is the amount of time I have until a certain show, a live show, that I signed LiDAR bar. You guys, I'm overworked, and I could really just go down there, hit the subscribe button, because this live show was like a stage performance where LiDAR was going to be presented as like a stage feature. I really wanted him looking at the audience the whole time, but if the motor that moves his face skipped any steps, it would think it's facing a direction that actually isn't. So I added a little Hall effect magnet sensor. So whenever it passes this magnet past this sensor, it can recalibrate its position. Okay, so this is it facing forward, but if I turn it on with it facing there, and I turn it on, it does that, and then it faces forward. Okay, he is pretty much done physically, but now I have to work on the code. I'm going to start from scratch and then slowly start copying over the code that it used to be running, and hopefully you can get it all running at the same time. And now I've got all the LED strips working. There we go. Got the neck going. Let's go. Still no issues anywhere. I'm getting a little nervous because things don't usually go this well the day before the event. But for now, I'm feeling pretty good. My dad rented a handy Andy van for the day, which was amazing because that meant I could keep his body fully together and just take off his head to transport. Setup was pretty smooth, and the event ended up being really high production. They wanted LiDAR to start the show drumming and then be remotely switched into an idle mode. So I made this little switch with these long wires, so I was just off the stage and flipped it when he needed to stop drumming. Okay, so here is how the event started.
Welcome, everybody! LiDAR, my musical assistant.
I don't know if that's exactly the drumming they had in mind, but I think it was cute. They invited me to come on stage and talk about LiDAR, and yikes.
Welcome to the stage, Bailey. Bailey, welcome.
Nice.
So,
nice to be here.
who's this guy? Who's this fella?
This is LiDAR, which stands for the Limitless Intelligent Design of Amazon Robotics.
Well, show me around. Let's go. Let's get on up here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on here. Is everything functional? Is everything that on here doing something?
What define functional? You know, there's you could see it however you want.
Where's the I? Where's the A? Where's the I? Where's the brains?
So we have 3 brains. There is a brain here that does all of the motor movements, and then we have another that does all these lights, and another which does the screen.
I saw it spinning earlier.
Yeah.
Like, was that a difficult thing to program?
Yes, it was. The timing is pretty tough because I'm using air, pneumatics, and an air compressor here to raise his arms. So it's actually very unpredictable. Air doesn't want to do the things you want it to do sometimes.
Something so compressible. Have you ever thought of hydraulics for it?
Yeah, hydraulics, I'm just scared of getting fluid near electronics. So maybe one day.
Well, I understand. I'm going to take a moment real quick and throw over to the Mentimeter. Down in front of you, you'll see the responses from the Mentimeter. It's looking like the projector here. Is this an actual projector as the eye, or?
No, it's just a lens from a projector, 2 lenses. That actually the light comes in, it gets it's like a fisheye, and then it gets the opposite of fisheye, and then it hits a mirror, and then it goes up to a camera. And the camera isn't on right now, but if it were, it'd be seeing you guys.
What else we have? We have the chest section all down here. What are these? Are the switches and everything else? Do you play with those at all? Do those feed into anything?
Yeah, so these kind of flip as if that he's...
Okay, so sorry to interrupt that train wreck, but the guy operating the camera in front of me started talking. He was like, "Whoa, he's coming in way too loud. Can you shut the fudge up while I'm performing?"
As if he has like fuses that are blowing. And then this is also an emergency button that clicks in and out.
What's next for you? You're about to graduate. You already have the first AI drumming bot in the world. Where will you take this next?
Amazing question there. I am going to stay at home and work on my art and try and get it to places and see if anybody wants my art in your gallery, reach out.
You heard it here first, gallerists. We need you. This has been wonderful. Any last words for the audience, people at home?
Be real, take it easy, and keep on technologying.
Be real, take it easy, and keep on technologying. That's what we're going for here.
Okay, just got back from the event. It actually went really well. It was a little awkward when I was on stage, but LiDAR did great. In the past 72 hours, I have gotten, I believe my Fitbit told me I had got 6 hours of sleep. That math doesn't work out right. I don't like that ratio. But huge thanks to Future Arts for making this a really cool experience. You can check out the full live stream linked in the description of this video. So while I was packing up LiDAR at that event, somebody came up to me and asked me if I wanted to bring LiDAR to his event. Now, I ain't no birthday party magician, but when I'm invited to an AI paid admission exclusive party, little $sign emojis appear in my eyes and I start drooling. So we loaded LiDAR onto a pickup truck and took him to the top floor of a downtown apartment building. So guess what, you guys? I didn't get paid. I guess he thought he could pay me an exposure. I don't need to be exposed to your millennial tech bro friends. But at least the view was cool, so I kind of just used it as a photo shoot opportunity.
Oh, when the saints go marching in.
Okay, LiDAR's hand fell off for the last time. And when I say it fell off, it like shattered. So yeah, let's not use plastic anymore. I think I have better plans. A while ago, a representative from PCBWay reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to use their services and talk about it in a video. Yes, please. So I modeled his hands to be 3D printed out of aluminum. Okay, so here's the file that I uploaded. I said I want 2, and then you just say like the file's in inches, I want it out of aluminum, and I uploaded a drawing which specifies how I want the threads in the part to be tapped, and then some other like details since they offer a bunch of other services. And then here I go, I'm about to submit the request, and yeah, nobody cares. Agree. Okay, fun. So now I get to make an account. Okay, so now it brought me to this screen. I have my product number and I have the estimated cost, and it's being reviewed right now. Okay guys, they got back to me and they said, yeah, we'll do that for you. Thank you guys. Thank you, PCBWay. One problem. They came back to me and they said, there's a problem with your file. Okay. And here's the image that they sent me. Okay, so I designed this part. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Okay, so basically, here's what the file was that I sent them, and you can see there's the seam, and that's what it was pointing to, that circle. So I made some edits to just basically smooth that out. I just sent that over, and hopefully that fixed the issue. Okay, they just got back to me and they said, looks a-okay, so that's pretty awesome. I checked out the file sizes and I saw that the new file that I made is like 75% smaller than the original file, so clearly that feature was adding some complexity that just didn't need to be there. So let's say I just fixed the issue like it was nothing. Look what came in the mail today, you guys. It came. Let's check out what's inside. PCBWay. I know those people, they're my friends. Goodies. They gave me goodies and merch. But this is what we care about. Let's see what's inside. Everybody take your bets now in the comments. Are they gonna be epic? Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, if you said they weren't gonna be epic, you lost. You lost! They shined them too. Perfect. Like actual perfection here. Look at that. This is an overhang, so it printed like this. Zero issue. Oh my god, you guys. Again, thank you to PCBWay for doing this for me. Everybody watching right now, go down to the description and click on the PCBWay link right now. Take a look at all the different services they offer. It's actually incredible what you can contract them to do. You guys, I really want them to do more stuff for me for free. So I'd actually really appreciate it if you would go down to the description, click on that link, and like just show them some attention. Since I'm out of school, I don't have access to all the cool tools anymore. So now you'll have to watch me hacksaw through stainless steel. Before I graduated, I was able to use my school's water jet to cut out some parts for his wrist, along with some parts for another project, which was so cool. I think I'm gonna actually have to sneak into school to use that machine again.
I'm having a lot of issues with the encoders. Even if I run like an encoder library with Arduino, I'm still getting issues with finding the exact position because it just jumps up. Okay, so you can see I got it working with the hand taken off, which tells me it has to do more with the inertial load than the encoder itself. I can't quite put my finger on it, but who knows? I knows. So basically, what I'm seeing is it realizes that it's not getting to the right position, but it still coasts beyond where it was supposed to end, which means I need a PID controller. Okay, here you can see this is just a proportional, so it's the P out of the PID, and you can see it overshoots and then corrects. So it's ending up at the correct spot, but we have that overshoot, which is what that I and D come in. And yeah, that's what I call a well-tuned PID controller. Yeah, so I did get my Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering.
Ailing Ambrose Heller.
So I know a thing or two about controls. If you want to learn more about PID controllers, consider going to college. Okay guys, I'm done. The last change I made was making covers for the wrists. I feel like these covers really make them feel like solid. So I'm getting ready to present at the SPAM New Media Festival in Seattle, which is next week. Uh-oh. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to live stream the whole event between the 27th and the 29th of September. So mark your calendars and subscribe right now to watch that live streamed here. But even bigger news, I'm doing a artist residency right now. So I'll be pretty focused on working on that project until December. But you can expect to see videos on both of those projects eventually. But to be honest, I don't have time right now to code LiDAR to play like a whole song. And even if I were to show him playing like a little tune, I'd have to like film it in a way that makes it look like his timing is better than it actually is. And I'd probably have to get my friend to like mix each individual sound differently. So it wouldn't even really be... Okay, so basically I wanted this to be like a cool montage of LiDAR playing a song, but he's so uncoordinated because the serial communication between Raspberry Pi and the Arduino is just so terrible and so untimed. Next robot, I'm gonna use Robot Operating System. That should be a lot more consistent with this kind of stuff. So subscribe, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to Ro Ramden for making this cool beat out of the sampled sounds the LiDAR can make. Subscribe, you guys, that's all I'm asking. It's not a lot to do on your part. That's pretty much it. Okay, LiDAR, we're not gonna make an album if you keep doing this stuff. Get with the game.